In this video we will discuss about the deafness or hearing loss, and the reason that we will discuss is the gap junction malfunction. And the reason for this gap junction malfunction is the mutation in the gene, that is CX26, that will result in improper functioning of this gap junction, that is shown here. And there are three genes apart from this CX26. There are other gene that is also helps in the gap junction, that is CX30. And what are the function of this CX26? CX30 is represented here. The CX26 helps in the transport of potassium and IP3. IP3 is the IP3 is the protein, we can say, that helps in the transport of calcium from cell organelle to the required location, and simultaneously helps in the proliferation of the cells. So this A part represents CX26. So this helps in the transport of potassium and IP3 and more bigger molecules. And B represents the CX30. B represents the CX30 gene or proteins that are formed from CX30, and this helps in the transport of potassium and lower molecular weight compounds. And this C condition is the heterotrimeric condition, and A and B are homotrimeric condition. So in C conditions, the potassiums and the other cells, potassiums, C condition, the heterotrimeric condition preferentially allows the potassium cells to pass through it. So what happens when the there is a mutation in CX26 gene? The less amount of IP3 will be able to transfer into the cells, and so the calcium that is required will not be triggered efficiently in the because of the deficiency of IP3 within the cells. And this this leads to create calcium deficiency condition within the cells. So this is one of the ways by which CX26 mutation affects the cells. And this potassium is also related to the sound signaling, so it will finally affects the hearing functioning. And this other ways by which CX23 affect is that since the uh, CX23 is mutated, it will not be able to form a proper structure, and oligomerization occurs even before it reaches to the endoplasmic reticulum. And so finally, when it passes through the endoplasmic reticulum through the secretory pathway and reaches the plasma membrane, then at that point uh, it will uh, it will not be able to function properly as it is shown in this side. And simultaneously what it will do is it will interact with the wild type CX26 and affect its functioning also, as it is shown here. And this purple color represents the wild type CX26, and the pink color represents the mutant 26. So when the mutant interact with the wild type, it will make the functioning of the wild type improper, and because of this improper functioning, it will inhibit the transfer of IP3 cells, uh, IP3 into the cells or in the cytosols, and thus calcium functioning will get affected. And because of the less amount of calcium available within the cells, with time the cells might uh, trigger itself towards cell death or programmed cell death pathway. So this is the another way by which the mutation in CX26 will affect the cells functioning and eventually leads to cell death. And the mutant, the first thing that is formed from this mutant CX26 is the truncated protein. And this truncated protein, uh, most of this truncated protein will be transported or will be filtered out in the endoplasmic reticulum through this endoplasmic reticulum quality control mechanism, and then transfer to proteasomal, and then transfer to proteasomal degradation through ubiquitation pathway. So in this way, the CX26 formation will also get reduced, and those who are able to bypass this endoplasmic reticulum may finally affect the functioning of wild type CX26, as we have discussed a few minutes ago. So these are the different ways by which the CX26 affects the functioning of the cells, and one of those functioning is related to uh, hearing. One of these functioning is related to hearing, and that is KCl, potassium chlorine transporter, as it is shown here, and that might cause the improper functioning of this K potassium chlorine co-transporter, might cause the problems, as that is known as deafness or hearing loss. So if you need to understand in details about this deafness and hearing loss because of gap junction malfunction, you can go through the reference that has been provided in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.